Welcome back to Northwest Notebook. The Whatcom Museum of History and Art in the heart of downtown Bellingham is home to over 200,000 artifacts, including thousands of photos from our history here in the Pacific Northwest. Well, construction is underway for the Whatcom Museum's new art museum and children's museum. And with us today to talk about the new facility is Patricia Leach, Executive Director. Welcome, Patricia. And Michael Oppenheimer, who's the Vice President in charge of Visitor Experience.
Right.
Wow, that's quite a title.
Yes,
we'll have to ask you about that later.
It's a big umbrella, yeah.
But first, now, Patricia, you've been here almost a year, right?
Just about 10 months.
And how has it been so far?
It's been very busy. I thought, surely it'll slow down by now, but it seems like it's even busier. But I'm having a wonderful time. And
Michael, you live in town, but you also have a place on Lummi Island. You're an artist, correct?
I'm a kinetic artist, that's correct. I've been designing exhibits most of my adult career, and doing kinetic art as an extension of that. I do wind-activated art.
So, explain Vice President in charge of Visitor Experience. That's really interesting.
Well, yeah, it's a position that oversees the whole experience of the public and the people who come to the museums.
Well, especially with this new facility. Now, I understand it's part of the Public Facilities District. We've heard a lot about the PFD in Bellingham. Explain that.
Well, the Public Facilities District is a group of citizens who are actually the PFD is modeled after the same kind of public facilities district that other cities in Washington have had, such as Seattle. I mean, when you're talking about Safeco Field, funded by a public facilities district, it simply means that a percentage of our state's sales tax is allocated for a specified period of time, set aside, which will pay for these improvements. And after that time period lapses, in this case it's 20 years, then the facility will be owned by the city of Bellingham.
Oh.
So the project actually entails construction of the new museum. It includes some very needed renovations to the Mount Baker Theater, as well as some wonderful streetscape improvements in the downtown arts district, which will allow for people to go to outdoor cafes and sit outdoors along the street, and really define what is the arts district for downtown Bellingham.
Now, talk about the new building itself. It'll house both the Art Museum and what is now known as the Children's Museum.
It's known as a Children's Museum, but I think, and Michael may want to chime in, we would really like for this, it will be part of the museum's education program. It is going to be a very interactive space, welcoming children as well as their families, siblings, really all people, and it will be very interactive. So you may want to say what.
Right. Well, there's been a fair amount of research into how children learn, and one of the most profound ways they learn is if they have adult involvement, and that's the beauty of informal museum learning, is that you can bring your parents and anybody else who will do the activities or do the exhibits with you, and then your learning is incredibly rich. And the exhibits themselves will be designed to appeal to toddlers or even smaller children, and also grown-ups. And hopefully the goal is to design exhibits that will be so interesting and so rich that people will come back many, many times and discover something new each time they come, which I'm confident we're getting there.
Well, and it's great timing with this new facility because the Whatcom Museum has just received an affiliation with the Smithsonian.
Yes.
That's exciting.
Yes, I'm very excited about that. We had applied to become a Smithsonian affiliate. There are currently 3 in the state of Washington, but nothing in the far northwest region of the state. And I thought, looking at our demographic, the fact that we've got Vancouver to the north, Seattle to the south, and we have this wonderful community, it was a perfect location. The purpose of the Smithsonian affiliation is to really make available some of the millions of artifacts that the Smithsonian owns that are kept in storage, that are not on display. And so it's an opportunity for us to bring some of those wonderful pieces to Bellingham and make them accessible.
Yeah, and I've heard some of them, like the ruby slippers.
The ruby slippers
Wizard of Oz, and what other things can we hopefully maybe expect to see?
Well, I know I just got back from Washington from a Smithsonian affiliate meeting, and we've been hearing about all the different kinds of things that are put on loan, including one of the space capsules. Obviously the ruby slippers, but some wonderful, wonderful works of art some artifacts, natural history, minerals, all different kinds of things. In fact, we were lucky enough to set up meetings in Washington where we were able to go to the Museum of the American Indian Collection Storage and look at some absolutely pristine artifacts. I said, do you have anything Coast Salish? And they pushed a button and immediately the shelving opened up and it was just filled with boxes and boxes of things from our region. And so we're hoping that we'll be able to negotiate those loans.
And I thought it was interesting you were saying even when the building is completed, it's not ready.
It's not ready.
Because the climate has to be controlled, there has to be the environment has to be just right.
We have to clean it, there can't be any dust, or we can't borrow from the Smithsonian, for example. We want that. But really, most importantly, is we have to install the exhibits, we have to build out all of the casework, all of these final exhibits that Michael is designing for the interactive gallery. And so that's going to take a period of months. And so even though the construction for the exterior is done, there's still a lot of work that's going to be going on inside.
So when are you hoping?
We're hoping this time next year, next summer.
Okay, we'll hold you to that.
Yeah.
Well, we'll hope that everything goes well. Thank you so much for joining us today. Patricia Leach, Executive Director, and Michael Oppenheimer, VP of Visitor Experience from the Whatcom Museum. We'll be right back.